If you are constantly troubled with, "Why don't I do what I say I'm going to do?" then this video will be the answer you're looking for. Welcome to Seeking Knowledge, because the path to success goes through knowledge. Atomic Habits by James Clear is the most practical and applicable self-help book that I have come across. The techniques provided in the book to build efficient habits are so ingrained in behavioral sciences that you not only understand the psychology involved behind developing good habits, but also how habits are formed and how one can sustain them. James Clear has approached the book from a psychological standpoint, but at the same time made it accessible for readers who might not have a psychology background. Here are 7 things we can learn from Atomic Habits by James Clear. 1. The 2-minute rule: standardize before you optimize. We all strive for perfection in whatever we do, but the book states otherwise, especially when you are trying to build better habits. This simply means, one should focus on doing a set activity every day instead of focusing on how well you are performing. Once the behavior you want to adopt comes naturally to you, that is, you can do it without much, that's when you shift to bettering yourself at it. For instance, if you want to run a marathon, then your focus needs to be on putting on the running shoes, then progress towards walking 10K steps a day to running 5K. The point is to master the basics before moving on to the finer details. 2. Motivation is overrated. Successful people are not driven by motivation but by repeating good habits. The reason we can't sustain better habits is because we depend on motivation. If we alter the approach and focus on changing our environment that aligns with the habit we want to develop, then it is most likely that we will stick to the habit. For instance, if you want to maintain the habit of drinking at least 3 liters of water daily, then counting on motivation will be disappointing. Instead, try placing water bottles in common areas of your house or workplace so they are easily accessible. The more you see the water bottle, the more likely it is that you will reach out to drink water. 3. From outcome-based habits to identity-based habits. Improving habits require us to change our mindset. Most of the people focus on what they want to achieve, which leads to outcome-based habits, but the ideal approach is to focus on who we wish to be. For instance, if you want to lose weight, then you need to focus on being a healthy person instead of focusing on shedding X amount of weight. Also, it is imperative to be proud of your identity, because once your pride is involved, you will fight tooth and nail to maintain your habit. Focusing on identity makes intrinsic motivation flow easily. If our habits don't align with our belief system, it becomes difficult to sustain them. 4. Goldilocks rule: 4% beyond your current abilities. The Goldilocks rule states that humans experience peak motivation when working on tasks that are right on the edge of their current abilities, i.e., 4% beyond their current abilities. It is believed that the greatest threat to success is not failure but boredom. It is, however, difficult to quantify the difficulty of an action, but the idea remains centered around working on challenges of just manageable difficulty. One needs to regularly search for challenges that push them to the edge while continuing to make enough progress to stay motivated. 5. Habit stacking. We all have certain habits that are already in place which we can call current habits. Then there are certain habits we intend to inculcate, they can be referred to as new habits. Now, this technique can be seen as sandwiching the habit you want to inculcate between the already existing habits. For instance, say I wanted to sustain the habit of meditation. Before reading Atomic Habits, I would try to schedule a time during the day for meditation, and sometimes I would show up, but most of the times I would fail. When I came across the concept of habit stacking while reading this book, I decided to sandwich the habit of meditation between going for tennis and taking a shower. By this I mean, I would instantly do meditation right before taking a shower and right after coming back from my tennis class. This helped me not slack into failing to show up. In no time, I became regular with my meditation practice. 6. Habits are entry points. Habits are like entry ramps to a highway. They lead you down a path and, before you know it, you're speeding towards the next behavior. Every day, there is a tiny moment that shapes your entire day. If in that very moment you choose differently, then the outcome is obviously different. As it is said, between stimulus and response, there is a choice, and that determines how things will go about. And that tiny window comes at a different time of the day for everyone. For example, in my life, that tiny window comes during the evening at around 6 p.m. It is my choice to either change my clothes and hit the gym or go out with friends. Now, if I change into my workout clothes, the workout is bound to happen, and it will change the course of my entire day, making me feel fit and happy. So, recognizing that window and choosing to do differently is what makes life efficient. 7. Make bad habits harder and good habits easier. To be successful, it is important to make good habits easy and bad habits impossible to indulge in. This can be achieved using the technique called commitment device. It refers to a choice that an individual makes in the present that controls their actions in the future. It is like locking in a future behavior, a great technique to bind you to good habits. For instance, if you want to avoid eating out, the best way is to forget your wallet at home. Another way to make bad habits impossible is by making them more effortful. For instance, if binge watching is something you want to get rid of, then after watching TV, unplug it, and that will make accessing it tougher. Since humans are built to perform activities with least effort, it will in turn automatically reduce binge watching. To sum up, habits can be completed in a few seconds but continue to impact your behavior for minutes or hours after. Many habits occur at decisive moments, choices that are like that fork in the road, and either send you in the direction of a productive or an unproductive day. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe the channel and click the bell icon for more videos.